finding a seat. Your sit bones are planted, your feet are well planted, maybe a little wiggle through your toes, lift and lower heels, a rotation through your shoulders. And then maybe some stillness, your eyes might close. And tune into your breath. And this is your opportunity to move from the outside to the inside, to your own inward space. And you might begin to notice different sensations in the body. You might even begin to notice dialogue in the mind, thoughts. And then notice, of course, your breathing and the movement that comes along with your breath. And your breath has a component of involuntary action, which it's good that that's the case, keeping us breathing when we're not thinking about it. But you can add a layer of voluntary action to your breathing, right? You can modulate your breath. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can make it deeper, shallower, faster. So play around with that a little bit here. What is it like to expand a little further into the rib cage, into the chest as you breathe in? What is it like to add some contraction through your lower belly to push the air out as you breathe out? And there are not only physical benefits to modulating your breath, but also mental, psychological benefits. You probably heard, take a deep breath in and a long exhale to calm down. And you might notice that when you are stressed or in alert, your breath is a bit shallower and faster. And we'll take a few more breaths right here. And then begin to find a rhythm of breath that is sustainable throughout your practice. A breath that is engaging, but also nourishing, helpful. And then once you've got your rhythm of breath going, we'll begin to add more obvious movement. So with your next inhale, find a bit more length through your spine. And as you exhale, lower the chin to your chest. Eyes could open, you could keep them closed. And then gently draw the left ear towards your left shoulder. And bring your chin back through center. And lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. And chin back through center. A few more at your own pace. If it feels good to stay on one side for an extra breath, you could do that. When your ear is towards the shoulder, it might feel good to lift the chin as if you were trying to lift it towards the ceiling. It will give you a little bit of a different stretch through the neck. And you might feel it all the way into the upper back, down the spine. A couple more. And then once you feel even, bring the chin back to your chest and pause there for an extra breath. And we'll lift the gaze, looking forward, eyes open if they were still closed, and then reach your arms wide and take them overhead, any amount. And then on your exhale, take your arms wide and all the way down by your side. And then again, arms wide and up. And arms wide and down. And now a little bit more action through your arms. So imagine you were kind of swimming in water or even oil, so even denser. So you've got to add a bit more effort to the movement through your arms. And then again, inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Now with your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And on your exhale, release your left arm down and side bend. Think about your right ribs pushing towards the right. Take another inhale here. Exhale. And then returning through center, breath in. And take it over to the other side as you breathe out. Pausing. Again, see if you can feel a stretch. Waist, rib cage, armpit. And then back through center. Interlace your fingers overhead. And let's bring those hands to the back of the head, the base of the skull. Those elbows are going to broaden. The chest is going to lift. It's your cow pose, with your spine. And then on your exhale, we are rounding. It's that cat spine. Elbows are going to draw in and down. Inhale again. Let's open up, broaden chest. Exhale, round that spine. One more here. Inhale, open. Think about your rib cage pushing forward. And then exhale, hide those ribs, round the spine, belly to spine. Inhale, come back through center. Reach those arms up once again. And this time we're coming into a gentle twist towards the right. Slide your right hand behind you and your left hand crosses over. So just gentle here. Make sure that you're not just using your arms to bring yourself into this rotation. Use some of that core. So take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, think about drawing that lower belly opened in, lowering those ribs, and see if that torso might turn just a little bit more, if that's available. And then come back through center. Inhale. And let's take it over towards the left side. Left hand slides behind us. Right hand crosses over as we find that rotation towards the left. And that same idea here. There'll be some action through your arms, but then try and tap into the action through the core. So breath in to lengthen. And then as you exhale, that lower belly draws up and in. And you might feel that there's a bit more space to rotate to the left. As you breathe in, come back through center, reach your arms tall, and then on your exhale, let's lower those arms all the way down by the sides. So we're going to work with those arms or those hands a little bit more. We did quite a bit of this on Tuesday too. It was those fists. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to be lifting and lowering the arms as we do that. So with your arms hanging, start making those fists. So your fingers into the palm first, and then open, and then your thumb into the palm first, and then open. Get that going. And don't go too fast so that your fists and the stretch of the fingers out is intentional. You're feeling it. And then once you've got those fists going, alternating, begin to lift. Arms go out and up. And then down. And let's do it one more time, slow and controlled. If you're still alternating, great job. I find it really hard to keep that. And lowering. And then we'll meet with those hands, those arms hanging. You could shake it out, maybe wiggle your fingers, gentle rotation through your wrists, both directions. And then relax your hands on your thighs. Turn your palms to face up. Take a full breath in and take a full breath out. Think about lengthening spine and allow the elbows to be heavy. So it's going to pull your shoulders down and away from your ears. Another full breath in. And a full breath out. All right, palms turn back down, and then inhale to heel to toe, those feet out. And then bring those feet back in. And then again, taking them out and bringing them back in. And remember to use this movement not only for the hips, but also for your ankles and your feet, your toes. So let those move as you heel to toe your feet out and in. And then the next time that your feet are out, we're going to pause there. The hands stay on your thighs, the thumbs inside, fingers outside. Take a full breath in to lengthen. And then on your exhale, drop your left shoulder forward and down. Turn your torso towards your right thigh. And then we're going to pause and explore this a little bit more, especially shoulders, kind of spine here. So think about a rotation through your spine. Think about your right shoulder lifting a bit and drawing back, and your left shoulder going forward and down. And see if that emphasizes a bit more that stretch through the lower back, and you might find that there's a bit more rotation happening through your spine, as if your chest could turn towards your right arm. Keep pushing your left thigh away. Take another breath in. And take another breath out. And then on the inhale, bring yourself all the way through center, so neutral spine. And let's take it over to the other side. So right shoulder goes forward and down. And taking a moment here, make some adjustments. And then let's focus on that spine, those shoulders. So we're going to drop that right shoulder forward and down. And then that left shoulder is going to go back, as if you were trying to bring it towards your lower back, towards your kind of spine, shall we say. Your torso might turn some towards the left, and you're pushing that right thigh away. So some little micro adjustments here. And then use your next inhale to come back through center. Let's do it one more time. Towards the right, exhale. And then back through center and towards your left, exhale. And then coming back through center with your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then on your exhale, bend those elbows. 90-degree angles, more or less. A little movement here through the arms first. So with these kind of robot arms, your forearms are going to go forward, down, and your palms are going to be facing back. And try to keep your upper arms in the same position, and then lift. There you go, nice. And then again, lower, slow and controlled. Don't let gravity just flop your arms down, and then lift. There you go, nice work. And let's do it one more time. Lower and lift. Nice. And now we're staying with those forearms lifted. Take a full breath in. Squeeze those elbows behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Chest broadens. And then on your exhale, elbow to elbow in front of you. But try not to bring your forearms or your hands to touch. There you go. And then again, open up. Inhale, squeeze shoulder blades. Exhale, elbow to elbow. And last one, inhale, open. And exhale, elbow to elbow. Nice job. As you inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then on your exhale, right hand behind you, left hand is going to cross over. And again, a twist towards the right side. So don't take your left hand too far towards that right knee. Bring it a little bit closer to your hips so that you can keep your shoulders over your hips as you find that rotation. There you go, nice. Take a breath here. And then return through center. Arms can lift, and we're simply going to switch sides. So left hand behind us, right hand crosses over. Again, notice the difference between reaching for the knee, that's going to round your spine over that left thigh, and keeping the hand closer to the hip so that you can keep that lifted spine. Take a breath here. And then inhale, bring yourself back through center. You can reach your arms tall if that feels good. And as you exhale, lower those hands and heel to toe your feet back to hip width. With your next breath in, the right knee is going to come in towards the chest, and we're going to use this to round the spine. So as you draw the knee in, think about your nose, your forehead going towards the knee. And then rather than just dropping the head, see if you can round through your upper back and mid back. So if you had a wall behind you or the back of your chair, you're trying to get your back body to touch that. Pause, take a breath. And then with your next inhale, we're going to lift that spine, neutral spine, and let's find some rotation through the right hip. Both hands, one hand, no hands, whatever you prefer. Just finding a little movement here in one direction. And then switching direction. We're going to use the next inhale to bring that knee all the way in through center, and then we're going to extend that leg all the way out in front of us, lowering the heel to the ground. Now your hands are going to come to your hips and ground your hips. So think about your hands pushing your hips down as you lengthen your spine up. And then on the exhale, keep that length as you go forward and down. Pause, take a full breath in, and take a full breath out. One more here. And then inhale, rising up, reaching your arms overhead, and then bend your right elbow, drop the hand behind the head, and then see if you can get a hold of your right elbow with your left hand. Alternative, grab a hold of your forearm or your wrist, and then draw that arm towards the head, and then push the head back into the arm. Full breath in here, and a full breath. Now, see if you can keep this and just find a gentle rotation through your rib cage towards the left side. Any amount. Draw that belly gently in, lower those ribs, and then bring yourself back through center. Release those arms, take a full breath in, and then on your exhale, arms down and plant that right foot, right knee bends. Take a shoulder roll up by your ears, soften, and another one like that, up and soften. Nice. And then from here, let's bring that left knee in, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to look for that rounded spine. So as you draw your knee in, begin to push your back body back, your nose coming towards the knee. They don't have to touch, just that direction. And then again, think about your mid-back, kind of pushing towards the space behind you. Full breath in. There should be quite a stretch through your upper back, your shoulder blade area. Breath out. Another one here. And then as you inhale, come into a neutral spine and rotation through your left hip. So again, both hands, one hand, no hands. And then switching. And bring that knee back through center. And then when you're ready, extend that leg out. Push through the heel and slowly lower that heel all the way to the ground. Hands come back to those hips. Again, use them. So push the hips down, lengthen. Think about long waist. And then shift forward and down with your torso. Pausing. And think about aligning your head with the rest of your spine. So keeping a neutral neck. You probably are going to be looking down. Maybe you're looking at your toes or your knee. Another breath in. And another breath out. One more here. And use your next inhale to rise all the way up, reaching your arms tall. And this time it's your left elbow that's going to bend. The hand drops behind the head, and then your right hand is going to draw that arm in towards the head. Add some resistance. The head pushes back into the arm. And take a full breath in. Find that length through your spine. And then now see if you can keep this arm position and just turn your rib cage towards the right. Again, also keeping your legs. Oh, don't worry if you're not turning very far. That's fine. Just feel that there is some rotation happening, and see if you can feel your core muscles making that happen. Another breath. And as you inhale, returning through center, arms can reach tall. And on your exhale, release those arms down, bend your left knee, and plant your left foot. Nice job. Give your shoulders a little roll. Maybe your neck a little stretch. All right, and then from here, we're going to find some side lunges. Or you could also think of it as like a seated version of a supported side plank. So it's kind of a similar shape that we'll do. So a block might be useful. I think it will definitely be useful, actually. So make sure you have something that you can plant your hand on. Alternative to a block will be planting the hand on the chair. So if you don't have a block, we can do chair too. Okay. So we'll plant block on the left side of the chair, and then we'll scoot over towards the right side. So your right bum and the right leg are going to be off the chair. Your left bum, your left thigh are going to be on the chair. Make sure that your left knee is more or less on top of your left ankle, and it's right in front of your left hip. So that's kind of the alignment that you want to start with. The right leg comes out to the side, but sometimes that can cause cramps, or sometimes that's not available in the hips. So you can always walk that right foot a little forward. It doesn't have to be completely in line. Okay? Make yourself somewhat comfortable in quotes. When you're ready, those arms are going to reach tall. Inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to draw that right hand towards the right leg to find a side bend. So we're going to look for a stretch through the left side of the torso. And then as we inhale, we're coming back up through center. And on the exhale, the left hand is going to come or to your block or to your chair. And then we're going to find a stretch through the whole of the right side body this time. So from the right foot all the way to the right fingers. And then let's move like this 2 more times. Come back through center, inhale. Right hand to right leg, exhale for that side bend. Back through center, inhale. Left hand to your chair or to your block, side stretch. 1 more like that, breathing in center. Exhale, right side. And breathing in center. And exhale to your left. And this time we're going to pause here. So you might need to make some adjustments. As you pause, your right arm can rest for a moment, but think about your left shoulder more or less in line with your left wrist, more or less, okay? And then we're going to work with that top arm. So bend the elbow, bring the hand. You could bring it to the back of the head, to your ear, or you could also just have your hand kind of loose. We're going to kind of guide the movement with that right elbow. So on the inhale, that right elbow is going to draw back. And as you draw that elbow back, your chest turns towards the ceiling, any amount. So it's that kind of rotation. And then on your exhale, that right elbow is going to go forward, and imagine your elbow trying to reach your left hand. Going in that direction, your torso is going to turn towards the floor. So that's the movement. We're going to again open up towards the ceiling. Inhale, right elbow draws back. Exhale, right elbow forward, down, and you might be looking at your left hand. And again, inhale, open up, slow and controlled. Notice the movement that comes from your spine. And then exhale and find that rounding, that turn. Nice. 1 more. Inhale, open. And exhale and lower. Now on your inhale, we're going to open, extend your right arm towards the ceiling. Take a full breath in. Pause, take a full breath out. And then with your next inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms tall. And as you exhale, lower those arms all the way down by your side. All right, so we'll try that on the other side. So your right leg is going to come in. You're going to scoot over. And now it's your left leg that's going to be out to the side. And your block, if you're using it, is to the right of your chair. Again, take a moment to align yourself in this neutral or middle place. So Right foot well planted, ankle, knee, and then knee and hip in line. Shoulders over hips, find that length through your spine. Okay? And as you inhale, arms will lift. And on your exhale, left hand towards your left leg as you find that side stretch through the right side of your torso, waist, rib cage. Inhale as we return through center. Exhale, option of hand to your chair or hand to your block as you reach up and over. Stretch the left side of the body. And then again, back through center. Inhale. Left hand, left leg, side bend. Exhale. Back through center. Inhale. Exhale to your right. And one more. Inhale through center. And to the left. And inhale through center. And to your right. We're pausing here. Again, take a moment to align if you need to. Right hand more or less on the right shoulder would be most supportive. And then bend your left elbow. And again, the hand could rest back of the head, temple, or you could have it in the air a little bit kind of looser. But it's your elbow here that's going to draw back. And as a result, your torso turns to the ceiling. And then your elbow is going to draw forward and down, and your torso turns towards the floor. And again, at your own pace, get a little loose here with your arm. Get a bit creative. Allow your body to, kind of adapt to the movement. And again, breathing in to open up towards the ceiling. Breathing out to lower towards the floor. And again, open and lower. And then the next time that you open, pause there, lift that left arm towards the ceiling, push into that block or chair. Take a full breath in, take a full breath out. And then as you inhale, we are rising all the way up, arms can lift. And on your exhale, release your arms down by your side. And then left knee comes in and scoot back onto your chair. And take a moment. Let's all maybe close eyes and just tune in and see any sensations that are present right now in the body. You might feel something around the lower back, around the spine, maybe the shoulders. Maybe your wrists are feeling kind of that pressure. And you might keep your attention on one of those sensations and then just watch it for the next 3 to 4 breaths. Does the sensation change? Does it stay? Is it still there? And then if your eyes were closed, opening those eyes, a little space between your feet and your knees, and we're coming into a forward fold. So if you had your block, it might be useful to have your block and plant it between your feet, and we'll land those hands on the block. Alternatively, you could have another chair or another piece of furniture too. Okay. So take a full breath in, and then on your exhale, shift that torso forward and down. Your hands can come onto that block, and then we're going to make it long. So we're going to walk the hands and the block as far forward as is available, keeping your sit bones and feet well planted on the ground. If it's comfortable, let the neck relax so the head is heavy and you might be looking at the floor or even under your chair. Pause here, breathing in, breathing out. And another breath in and breath out. In your forward fold, bring a bit more action into your legs. Push through the pinky side of your feet and even try and lift the big toe side and the arch of the foot. And see how that feels in your hips. And then that activation in your legs might feel a little bit nicer, a bit more supportive for your upper body. One more breath. And then use the next inhale to walk your hands and your block back in towards you. And then lift your spine. Hands can rest or help you on your thighs. Once you come back to stand, allow things to settle. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then bring your feet back to hip width. And we're going to make our way up to stand. So you could use your block if you wish. I think we did that on Tuesday. You could plant it between your knees. We'll do up and down 3 times, keeping the knees bent as you lift. So you're coming into that yoga chair pose, and then you're coming down back into your real chair. Okay, we'll do it 3 times. So as you're ready, weight comes into the feet. Your arms reaching forward can be helpful. Lift those sit bones, and then return your sit bones. And then 2 more times. Alternatively, hands, just give yourself a little prop against the seat of the chair. You could do it like that too. And then return with control. And then 1 more. Inhale, coming forward, up, nice. And exhale, and return. This time we're coming up and we're staying up. So stay in your yoga chair position. Okay, so your knees are bent, and then see if you can lift your arms up, and then lower your arms down. And then again, arms lift, and arms lower. And last one, inhale, arms lift, and exhale, arms lower. This time as your arms lift, your legs straighten, come all the way up. And then on your exhale, lower your left hand down and find a side bend towards the left. Return through center, breath in, and then take it over towards the right. Return through center, breath in, and then on your exhale, release those arms down by your side. Give your shoulders a little roll. Nice. All right. So let's come to, let me see. Yeah, let's try those kneeling side planks, supported side planks. So alternative, if kneeling's not in the books today, seated position, what we just did, that lunge or side lunge, the leg out to the side. We're going to try and do that same movement with the spine, but from a side plank, a supported side plank. So your chair is going to be helpful, your block too, and you might choose then if you prefer chair or if you prefer block, that will be up to you. But we're going to come down onto knees, okay? And the chair or block is going to be to your right. And then notice that the way I'm kneeling, my shins are straight out behind me. So that's going to help me with balance. And my right hand is going to rest on the seat of the chair. Now I'm going to shift weight into my right shin, knee, and hand, and then I'm going to extend my left leg out towards the left side. And then plant that foot as best you can, and that might remind you of that side lunge that we did seated. Okay. And the movements will remind you of that too. And then we're going to take a full breath in here. You could reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're going to lean towards the chair. So bend your right elbow and see if you can come onto your forearm and find that stretch through the left side of the body. Take a full breath in here and take a full breath out. And then bend into your left elbow and the same movement that we did seated. So that left elbow is going to be the guide. We're going to draw that elbow back, turn your torso towards the ceiling, and then we're going to draw the elbow forward and down and turn your torso towards your chair. And then do that a couple more times. Open up, inhale, exhale, and round turn. One more, inhale, open, and exhale and turn. Now, as you inhale, let's open up, reach that left arm towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, bring that left arm by your ear. Palm is facing down and look for as much distance as possible between your left fingers and your left foot. Give a little squeeze through the glutes. Think about tucking your tailbone to full breath in and a full breath out. And then as you inhale, return yourself through center. And then see if you can bend into your left knee and bring that left knee back in. Okay. So same thing now on the other side. We did it with the chair. You could do it again with your chair. If you feel like trying the block, instead of bringing forearm onto the chair, what you would do is you would bring your hand onto the block, but it would be the same idea. So on this side, I'll do it with the block. You choose whatever works best for you. Weight comes into the left knee, left shin, left hand, and that right leg now is going to extend towards the right side. And make sure that foot is well planted, so avoid, anything that will kind of slide it away. You might find yourself, I would find myself quite precarious here, so make sure that you can really grip through that right foot. And then squeeze your bum. So I don't mention this on the other side, but if you saw my this supported side plank, like the profile, okay, you wouldn't see my bum sticking out behind me, and this sometimes happens. What you want to do is to push your hips forward. So you could kind of not see my right leg, you wouldn't see my bum. I've got kind of torso and right leg on the same plane. Okay, so work towards that, and this squeeze of the glutes is a good glute strengthening position too. So same thing that we did on the other side. When you're ready, right arm reaches tall, and then bend that elbow and think about your elbow going back and your chest turning towards the ceiling. Breath in, and then exhale, that elbow comes forward and down, and your torso turns towards the floor. That rotation through your spine. Again, inhale, open it up. Exhale and turn. And again, inhale, open, nice. And exhale to turn. And now as you inhale, we're going to open. Arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling. And then let's bring that arm by the ear. Palm is facing down, and again, find that distance between your fingers, right fingers and right foot, and see if you can increase it. Another breath in, and another breath out. And then bring yourself back up, and with control, that right knee comes back in. And then from here, bring yourself into a table pose. So your hands are going to plant, you're on hands and knees. If you are doing this with your chair, come to standing, and you could plant your hands on the seat of the chair. And then we'll find some cows and cats. So dropping the belly, chest forward, gaze up, rounding the spine. And then remember, as you move between cow and cat, notice what parts of your spine move more. So chances are that is the neck. You might feel that you're able to lift and lower your chin pretty easily. And make sure that those parts that move more don't kind of distract you from not moving those parts that are a little bit more difficult to move. I would say that's kind of the upper back, mid back, that tailbone, that sacrum. So make sure that you are also getting your cows and cats all the way into that tailbone, that mid back, those back ribs, those shoulder blades. A couple more, breath in and breath out. And then from here, let's move those feet to one side, and then see if you can lower your sit bones all the way back behind you to find a seat on your mat. Once you are there, your legs come forward, and we're going to make our way down onto our back body. As always, you could do chair instead of coming all the way down onto the floor. If you have like a recliner, a bench, or even a bed, you could do this on that instead. Feet are going to plant. We're going to lower. You could always come onto your side. If not, arms reach forward. Take a full inhale. And then on your exhale, chin towards your chest as you slowly lower that lower back. And then that mid back. And then that upper back. And lastly, your head. And once that back body is well planted, take a moment here. I'm going to move my chair out of the screen. And if it feels good, bring those knees into your chest and rock a bit from side to side. If you are doing this from a seated position, you might draw one knee in and then switch. And take a couple more breaths. And then we're going to keep the right knee in and we're going to plant the left foot on the ground. Left knee stays bent. And just draw that right knee in one more time. Take a full inhale. And then on your exhale, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So we're coming into a reclined figure 4. Your right knee is going to draw away from you. You can also do this in a seated position. And see if you can use the strength in your right hip to draw that knee away from you. So your right foot will be flexed, a leg is quite active. And we'll take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now we're going to take this into a reclined twist. And I've mentioned it before. So these reclined twists is not about how far you go. Make sure that you don't overdo the twist. So props, we're going to go to the left side. So if you're using props, you could plant a pillow, you could plant a block on your left side and then land your legs on that. If that is still too low, you could do this against a wall or a sofa and then let your legs kind of lean into that. Okay, so don't make it too intense here. So when you're ready, keeping this figure 4 is the first option. Drop your legs towards the left. You might end up planting your right foot on the ground, on a block, on a pillow. Okay? So this is your first option for a twist. And you're welcome to try all the options I'm going to list, just 2 more. Second option that can be a bit more intense is to bring the right thigh all the way over the left. So it's like you're crossing thighs and then drop the legs towards the left side. In all these twists, your torso still stays facing up towards the ceiling. Your gaze can also face up towards the ceiling. And you're trying to keep your right shoulder drawing down towards the mat. Last option is I would say is a bit less intense, is to not cross the legs at all. So just have them stacked, maybe a little space between them, and then just drop the knees towards the left side. So any of those options, see which one works best for you, your body feels like today. None of them are better or worse or, more advanced or less advanced. All of that really doesn't apply to our yoga practice. So choose the one that you feel like works for you today. We'll stay for about 3 more breaths. And then we'll use the next inhale to bring us back through center. Bringing your knees back through center, make sure you don't strain lower back. So use your top leg first, draw the knee up, and then let that leg drag the other leg up too. And then once you're here, you could bring those knees again into your chest, give yourself a little rock, a few breaths. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So when you're ready, your left knee stays in, your right foot is going to plant, right knee is bent. And then flex your left foot as you cross the ankle over the thigh to find your figure 4 on this side. And again, now you're just using the strength in your left hip to send your left knee away. So see if you can feel that sensation there. Try to relax through the face. Breathing here. And then when you're ready, we'll explore that reclined twist, this time towards the right, and the same options apply. Your figure 4, dropping the legs towards the right. Maybe you're landing on a pillow, a block, bringing the floor a little higher. That's a great option. Keep your torso facing up as best you can, your shoulder blades on the ground. Maybe your left shoulder blade lifts some, but keep it heavy. If you prefer, you could cross at the thigh level. So slide that left thigh all the way over the right and then drop your knees towards the right. Sometimes this is quite intense, and depending on the side, we usually are a little bit tighter on one side than the other. I definitely feel it more on this side. So you might do a different version on this side. And then third option, not crossing legs at all, maybe a little space between them and dropping them to the right. Wherever you are, this is a restful, more of a passive pose. So let the exhales drop out of the mouth and let the body soften. And take another breath. And then bringing yourself out of the twist, use your top leg, draw that knee up, and then let that knee drag the other leg back, and you're coming back onto your back body. Knees can come into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. Usually after spinal rotations, a little stretch for the spine, for that back body tends to feel good. So this could be the moment to do that, bringing the knees in, rocking a bit, lifting and lowering the sacrum. If you feel up to it, maybe the forehead lifts towards the knees. You make yourself into a rounded shape. We'll try not to add too much effort at this point. We're coming towards end of practice. So we're now letting go of that tension and effort. Eventually return that back body onto the mat, plant your feet and let your knees rest against one another. Bring your hands to your belly. Now take a deep breath in, allow the belly to expand into your hands. And then on your breath out, feel your belly move away from your hands. Do 2 more like that. And moving into Shavasana, the end of practice, finding now some stillness. You might stay in this position or find one that feels more comfortable. And then once you get there, let your breath be a normal breath. And now practice not doing, taking that pause, that rest. In just a few moments here. As always, you could stay for a bit longer if you wish. If you're ready to move, keep some of this relaxation and this kind of restful, easeful state. Engage gently your breath and then begin to move your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists, taking your time. And then as you're ready, making your way up into a seat where we'll end practice together. Your hands might rest in your lap. You might bring your hands and rest them at your chest. You could do palm to palm, or you could do palms against your chest. You could close eyes and take a deep breath in, a long breath out. And then let's acknowledge here the practice itself. And let's acknowledge ourselves for our practice today. Acknowledging those who practice with us and acknowledging those who make it possible. We'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.